Hi, good evening. We are on the last day of August here. So tomorrow, when the market opens, it will be the very first day of September 2024. Um, yeah, so we're gonna look a little bit into, how this month's candle has closed. And so we're gonna tie that in a little bit to our analysis today. But before we get started, let's go ahead and start in prayer. All right. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you, God. We come to you today, thankful and grateful, Lord, and just in awe of everything that you do for us, God. Lord, today as we do this analysis, I just ask that you would just bless us with the ability to anticipate the markets without being sold on our own bias, Lord, that we can have an anticipation, but we can remain unbiased, God. Um, Lord, I just pray that anybody watching this video would just be blessed, Lord, in this upcoming week of trading, God. Open our eyes, Lord, to what the markets may do. Be with us every day of this week as we trade. Lord, and we just thank you so much for everything that you do in advance, God. Thank you so much for the things that we aren't even aware of as well. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay. So let's start with the dollar. Okay, so the dollar was, it was bullish all week. We kind of had our pivot on Tuesday. Oh, here we go. Okay. Okay, so for the dollar, our option number 2 played out. So we kind of had like price opens lower on Sunday, Monday, taking out last week's low and then pushing up to retrace into the daily bearish order block or up further into the previous week's candle. And or further up, candle to retrace breaks above even higher for deeper retracement. So yeah, so option 2 played out. If we just look at the daily time frame, we actually did break above this daily order block, so we did end up getting that deeper retracement. We were able to hit the 61.8% of retracement here, and upon Sunday open we had that sweep of last week's lows. So here's our opening price right here, and then quite immediately the first thing that it did is took out last week's low, which we also talked about, it being a relative equal low as well on a higher time frame. And so we had that taken out, price kind of rallied a bit, and then we actually made a lower low, and then price pivoted from here for the week, and it just continued to trend bullish. Retracing the previous week's candle, pretty good there. So this upcoming week, I would say we get 2 options. So obviously we did make it up to the 61.8. I do think there's room for price to continue to go up. which would make perfect sense because if we're going to end next week bearish, excuse me. If we're going to end next week bearish, then we want to see price go kind of push up first to give us a nice premium price before price sells off and creates a new low. But like I said, we need to pay attention to how this month has closed because we have a brand new monthly candle that we get to pay attention to. So we had this, the remainder of this imbalance between this wick and this wick marked as our next bearish objective, obviously after the negative 27 gets taken out. So just for a second, I'm going to delete that Fibonacci. And I'm just going to fib this just like on the weekly candle. So if we're going to get another bearish month, right, which in a couple of weeks, we're going to have, the Fed's going to cut rates, and that's being pretty priced in already, as we've discussed previously. But of course, once they actually cut rates, that's obviously going to sell the market off. So if we're starting a new month, which is likely going to end bearish, then we want to see it kind of push up, right, to retrace first this previous candle. And we just like to see, we need a wick. We need to get our wick. So I think it's very plausible that we could get this next upcoming week bullish as well. So I'm just going to leave this fib here on this monthly candle. So I would say, because we had a low right here, I would mark this candle right here as the swing high of this weekly downtrend. And let's just take an extra look on the daily. I guess maybe this would be the swing high of that weekly. But as you can see, that is almost exactly where the 78% is, where the monthly retracement is. So basically the way I see it is price could continue to buy up to retrace without breaking structure, or maybe we get a liquidity sweep and we fill this imbalance right here and we top this order block before we sell off. But I do see, or we could just retrace into this area and hit our 70. You know what I mean? And we could still keep this structure valid and just sell from here. So we can go ahead and mark this as a change of character. Okay. And then I just want to go ahead and mark that weekly candle one more time. So the way I see it is I could see price retracing probably into this imbalance, and then continuing to push up for the week. Maybe we don't get all the way up here. Maybe we just come to the 78, but either way, even if it gets up to here or even all the way up here, that's going to cause us to end with a bullish weekly candle. So we want to anticipate this our Tuesday, Wednesday pivot. So that would be kind of a bullish option. It's kind of crazy. I was at Starbucks the other day, and they had their pumpkin spice stuff out, which I don't really like the pumpkin spice stuff, but I know it's like always like in America, that's like how you know it's fall is when that comes out on the menu. Um, so I'm just like, yay, which I love fall, I love the rain, I love winter, so I love snowboarding. So this is like my time to shine for sure. I also like trading the stock market, so usually it's a good time. Week of 09. Oops. Did I do that backwards? I always do the dating backwards. I don't know what my deal is. Okay. Oops. Okay, so our option one here is to like on Sunday open, obviously, we may get us open a bit higher just to take out last week's low. I mean, last week's high, excuse me. Then we want to see a retrace of the change of character on the weekly, or excuse me, daily time frame. Okay. Um, so this would be hopefully by Monday or by Tuesday, Wednesday for our pivot. And then we see price push up for the remainder of the week. I don't want to put like a bullish objective on here right now. I just want to keep it open. You know what I mean? Obviously, I talk about taking, the closest objective first. So if you do swing a buy, if that opportunity presents itself, obviously you want to be smart and you want to take what you can out of the market. Don't just like assume it's going to swing all the way up here to that monthly objective, because it might do that, but it might sweep you out twice first. You know what I'm saying? So either move your stop loss and whatnot. So this would be like a pretty basic week right here. Just like pretty basic price action. I'm gonna delete these just to get those out of my way. This order block has not been tapped. I just realized that there's an imbalance right here. So maybe that would be a good place for price to go and watch this upcoming week. If we do end bullish. So my next thing would be price just sells off. Or I mean, maybe we could get a sweep of the high. Maybe it opens lower, who knows? And then our Monday gets down here rather than our Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we get a push up, right? And then we like sell, which there's not really much room here, so this could either be a consolidation candle, but I doubt after this type of candle right here, in the monthly time frame, that we're going to get a consolidation candle this time. It just doesn't seem likely. So maybe the better option, let's take a look at the 8-hour time frame. See if we can't see anything else. Maybe we just come here and we just tap this first and then we buy up, right? This would be our Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we come in to tap into hi Sarah, we come to tap into this lower order block here in the lower time frame, and I believe, and then we would fill this. So this weekly candle would be ending bearish, but the following week would likely continue to push up if we are going to go higher into that monthly, into the monthly retracement, which is personally what I think, because we do have that rate cut coming up next. So we can go ahead and okay, so so kind of just while writing that out, I kind of had another scenario pop up in my head. So just looking on the 4-hour, I think that would honestly be fine when it comes to the daily time frame. Those options, actually, now that I think about it. So what I was thinking is, like, if you go to the 4-hour here, so last week how I called out, there was this low that was made not last week but the week before. This was the week's low, and it was a relative equal low with another low to the left over here. Well, when Sunday opened, that was the first thing that got swept. It kind of made these equal lows right here, right? So we had price come down on Tuesday and sweep that before it expanded bullish. So not only did we have a sweep of liquidity to the left here, we also had a sweep of these lows. So this is a market structure shift, and it's going to expand with a lot of volume. Then I think that there's potential for move these over. I think there's potential for something to look just like we hit our displacement here, and then we would just see price trend all week. So I do think there's potential for that as well. But I'm not really going to write that down. But I'll definitely have that screenshotted. So that's what I see happening for the dollar this upcoming week. I mean, if we like coming to the end of a rate hike cycle is pretty significant for investors, because investors are, they're selling high, right? So there already has been a lot of volume in the market because they've been discussing it, but when we actually do it, when we actually cut the rates, we should get a pretty significant market reaction. So in my opinion, if I was like an institutional investor here, or just the Federal Reserve or any type of institutional bank, I would want to get price as high as possible, at the highest premium possible. I mean, so just looking at the monthly time frame again one more time, at least I would try to get price somewhere up here. So I do think that's where we're headed in the next couple of weeks. Yeah, this is swept. Okay. So yeah, so that looks good. Okay. Okay, so let's go look at our analysis from last week and compare to what happened. I think our analysis for the Dow Jones played out way better. Personally, I don't get why I won't load my picture, but anyway. So we just trended downward all week, pretty much. So I think for our bearish one, price opens lower on Sunday, then pushes up Monday, either making a double top or taking last week's high and selling to retrace the bullish impulse by Tuesday, Wednesday. Then buys into Sunday's open, which became resistance, and price continues to sell deeper. So we kind of had something like that play out. Price did trend lower all week. Let's see. So we didn't make it exactly up to Sunday open, but there was a clear area of resistance right here that price could just like, it just like was not breaking it. You know what I mean? For like the whole week. So we just trended lower. We did feel this imbalance right here that we talked about as well. So that was, it seems to me like the objective that price wanted to meet. But we weren't able to like break out of this bearish trend. It definitely looks like it's on its way to break through right now. So maybe fourth time's a charm. Well, actually, yeah, I guess this is still considered fourth time. So we'll just have to see what happens. But we did have a bearish week last week, and then I think Dow, we actually ended bullish, I want to say. Yeah. Oops, that's the month. Yeah, we ended bullish for that week. whereas we ended bearish for this one. Usually it's the opposite too. Usually, you know, the Dow Jones is the one ending bearish. So we did get an order block. We got a bearish order block. If you can see that this candle is just barely engulfing this one, the body. But I'm not really gonna go off of this because I mean I will obviously I'll keep it in my mind, but I don't like there's a wick right here and there's a wick right here. So price is like rejecting on both sides. So it's definitely in a battle from where it wants to go from here. So I would say the best thing is to always just wait for a breakout. You know what I mean? On that one. So okay. So in super simple terms, if the dollar continues to trend bullish, right? Technically, we should see a move down on on the NASDAQ because they move in opposition to each other. So let's look at the monthly real quick before I say anything. This is also an indecision candle. I mean, it's not really an indecision candle. This is technically a rejection candle. So I do believe long term we are headed upward. That's pretty easy to state for an indice. But as far as this upcoming next week, I think it's very possible to continue to push down. We do have so much imbalance left right here. Okay. And we technically do have room. This 2-week order block makes me like kind of torn actually. So like we didn't even get to the 61.8% when retracing this 2-week order block right here. So there's definitely potential to continue to move to the downside. But this, let's see, we have 5 days left of this candle, so I can't really talk about this one because it's not closed yet. But it does seem like it's rejecting so far. So just kind of like right off the bat for this, because this area right here was tested so many times, obviously retail traders are looking to use that as resistance and sell it again. So automatically that makes it a buy-side liquidity pool for us, that the institutions will likely look to take out and go in the opposite direction. So maybe we'll get like Sunday opens a bit lower, and then we could see Monday do something like this. And then we get pushed lower, maybe to continue down into this next imbalance we see right here on the daily. Who knows, maybe it makes a higher low, right? And then we go up. But for the purpose of this analysis, let's just say it continues down, right? So this would be kind of like our Tuesday, Wednesday it's just so close to price right now, kind of seems like. But we'll just go with that for right now for Tuesday, Wednesday. So okay, so just touching on this one more time. If we go to the weekly and we do treat this order block here, obviously you want to fib it. So taking it back to the lower time frame, if we had a proper retracement of that bearish order block before we get a push down, the 78%, like look at where I put my sweep on this arrow, and I just did the fib, and it like it's perfectly right exactly where price would need to come to sweep this buy side liquidity pool. So that kind of lines up perfect for me to get like a bearish scenario. And if that bearish order block holds on the weekly time frame, like I said, it's kind of an iffy order block because of that rejection wick. So it's kind of like iffy. I don't know if it's gonna hold, but it might. But there is a couple of confluences for that area. So our first option we could say is bearish. I kind of want to like copy and paste this and make a bullish version of it real quick. So basically what I mean by this is what do I mean by that? So I could see like I'm gonna delete this Fibonacci. So I could see price kind of just like, we do have this 4-hour order block right here, if you can see that. Just barely. This white candle engulfs this black candle right here. It just barely does that. So we just could get a little bit of a tap on Sunday. Then this could be our actual Monday instead of a Tuesday, Wednesday. And we could see price come here, making a higher low, right? Maybe filling this imbalance down here, maybe tapping into this engulfing order block. And then we see price begin to push up. Now, if that scenario was to happen, oopsie, price would technically be breaking the swing high of this daily downtrend right here. So you could consider that a change of character if you wanted to, but only if it makes a higher low, which we would be able to see that when price comes there. We could see what type of structure is forming on a lower time frame on that day. So basically this would be your Tuesday, Wednesday, this would be like your Monday. So I'll just change this part. 2. Okay, so that could be a bullish scenario. Bullish wise, I mean, we could say for an extreme, yeah, price could get down here to come fill this imbalance and then go up. I don't think that's impossible. I mean, look at how big these candles are right here. You know what I mean? So I don't think that's impossible, but so I'm just gonna like mention it, just give it like a mention that this could possibly happen and then we go bullish. But as of right now, I'm just gonna leave this here. But personally, I would like to see price come down here a little bit more this week, just so we could get that, ultra discounted price before we start pushing up. So that's pretty much where I'm at for NASDAQ. We could see price break here just for a little bit of a better version of this right here. So we could see that happen and price comes and hits the Sunday opening price right here again, and it becomes resistance to then push down again. So maybe this could be our Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday type of thing. And I'm completely forgetting right now that Monday is Labor Day. So we're actually going to have a short week this week. So fast forward, not fast forward, but like just think of everything I'm saying right now in terms of a 4-day week. Actually, I just realized that. Okay. Yeah. So that's crazy. That might happen then because sometimes on holidays, if it's like the market's like actually closed, price like once it opens, it kind of just like explodes and just does its thing. Okay. I just want to kind of do one more thing. I just want to fib this week or monthly candle real quick. Just see where this stuff lands at. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, just running the fib on that monthly candle that's closing today. If price was to come into this imbalance, that would be very healthy. That would be very healthy on the monthly time frame as well. So definitely don't think it's impossible. But all right, so let's move on to Dow Jones, and this is the last one that we're doing. Oh, and actually I do want to talk about AUD USD, because I kind of planted a seed last week for you guys. But I want to bring it up again because we're having the monthly candle close. So just like at the end, we'll talk about it for a couple seconds. But so Dow Jones kind of did its thing exactly how we wanted it to, kind of perfectly. Love when that happens. So bullish, price opens slightly lower, then pushes up Monday to sweep highs, then sweeps the relative equal lows and sells to retrace fib levels by Tuesday, Wednesday, then pivots bullish for the week. What fib levels are we talking about? Oh, 2-week fib levels. Okay. Oh, the week's fib levels. Yeah. Okay. So last week's candle, or the week before that, like we came down perfectly. We hit the 61.8. So it stayed in the area perfectly. We had a sweep of Sundays opening, it looks like, right here. Which was the sweep of last week's high. So we got that, and the price kind of just consolidated for a bit. And then we swept this whole consolidation that it had created. And then we pivoted on Wednesday, and then price just started to create bullish structure. We didn't get to make another high on Friday, but I think that it will. Just because it's just now breaking to the upside. So keeping that in mind, let's take a look at the monthly, because we have our new month candle. So we'll just run our fib on this monthly candle, super easy. And then we'll look at the weekly. Okay. Yeah, I like this. We created like a relative equal high pretty much here. Which I bet you will get taken first before we have any type of move down. But yeah, anyway, so last week's price action was super dope. But it looks like it's on its way to break above these relative equal highs. So I would say that we could see price open on Sunday a bit lower, and then maybe on Wednesday, or excuse me, Monday or Tuesday. This is crazy. Okay, so I think the market's gonna open on Monday evening, probably. I could be completely wrong on that, but just if I say Monday on accident and Sunday again, just please translate that to Tuesday because that's what I mean. But anyway, so I think we can get it open a bit lower, and then price will push up to sweep these two equal highs that we have right here. And that could be in the form of a liquidity grab, or that could be in the form of price actually trending upward to meet, maybe this negative 27. Although I don't really like that negative 27. Let's see. I think this would be a better one to look at. Where we're probably going next. Because this is obviously, if this is the overall macro structure right here, so that I want to look at this one instead of just, this is for the weekly candle. So if we do get some sort of retracement this week, it'll probably look like this. So some form of taking those highs out, and then we would see price trend lower down into here. So that would kind of end bearish for us to then eventually go higher. Although I kind of get the sense right now that Dow Jones is just going to explode and just take off. Or it could do its famous going nowhere until it finally explodes in one direction. Okay. Um, so I could also see like if we're gonna hit this high this next week and it's gonna break through in the beginning part of the week, I could see like I don't know, price just seems really strong to me right now when it comes to the Dow Jones. So I could see us actually trending kind of like continuously upward for most of the week. And then we could get like a large sell back down into these levels as well. So that's why I changed the language to sweeps last week's high or makes a new high, because the sweep would just end with a wick. And then a bullish week would be pretty easy. Bullish would kind of just, I think this would kind of like be our like Monday, Sunday, Monday-ish or Tuesday-ish, whatever you want to call it. And then we get our retracement pretty early. So this would be like your Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we just take off. So that's also pretty simple. But like I said, like this volume and the structure is just so bullish right now. I just have a feeling like I don't think we're gonna come back down too far, at least not right now. I don't know. I'd like to see that high get taken first. I could absolutely be wrong, but just like off of structure and all the order blocks and whatnot, um, it just seems like it wants to keep going higher. But when I think in a fundamental term, such as they're gonna rate or lower the rates in a couple of weeks here, um, logically you would want price to get lower first, right? But we do have this week and we do have the following week. I think we also have, is it 3 weeks that we have? So it's on the 18th that they're gonna do it. Yeah, so about 2 weeks. So we could see Dow just climb higher this week and then melt the following week to get lower. Okay. Okay. So that's it for that, for the regular, oopsie, for the regular analysis that we do, but I'm gonna go ahead and talk about AUD USD. So we had our monthly candle close, and so if you were on last week, I spoke about how I think AUD USD is going to be a really good pair to trade for a little while, because the fundamentals of the US dollar, or the central bank, excuse me, of the US lowering rates is very opposite of what's happening with the Australian dollar. And they're actually not lowering rates, but they're speaking that it's going to be very possible for them to continue to raise them within the next year. So when you have that happen, it creates an environment. So if the dollar is selling off, right, and it's not the main pair, so it's going to, the reaction on a pair where it's not the main is going to be, it's going to push this pair to the upside, right? And then if you have the Australian dollar, which is the main pair on this couple, if that is also having the rates raised, then that's also going to push this pair bullish. So I think that this would be is going to possibly be a really good pair to watch and to trade for at least the next year. So now that we have this month's candle close, we already have a bullish order block right here for the month. So it's already looking really good. If you've never traded a swing trade before, or like a monthly candle before, if you know long-term price is going to go in a certain direction and you get like a monthly order block like this, like, dude, you're good to go. So obviously you want to anticipate price retracing to hopefully the 78, you know what I mean? So not only can you wait for price to retrace and then get in when it buys, and you can hold this trade all month, you know what I mean? If you know what you're doing, you can also look to sell this trade on the way down, right, while it's retracing. Okay, so I've done this a couple of times, and it's really smooth when you just get to trade like the monthly swings. So yeah, so I just want to point that out, because now we have price action aligning with the fundamentals of this pair. So that's kind of a little extra gem for everybody. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, that's about it for me. So thank you, everybody. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. You're so welcome to join our Discord, Regnum Exchange, where we're talking about these things. I drop a link for this Zoom call every week. If you want to come on here live, ask me questions, that's awesome too. So yeah, so God bless everybody for this, well, everybody in general, but this upcoming week. I hope everyone's blessed. So thank you.